Following a decision taken by the absentee Tunja Division of the Northwest to suspend salaries of 300 teachers who fled the armed conflict to seek refuge in other parts of the country, Minister Nalova Liyonga of Secondary Education has distanced herself from the scandal. Reports say Kwetong Henderson Konge requested the suspension of the salaries of the civil servants directly from the authorities of the Ministry of Finance in Yaoundé. What accounts for this salary suspension, according to the senior divisional officer, is the continuous absence of the civil servants from their duty posts. The initial list containing the names of 1,700 teachers who are said to have fled the crisis-hit zone in the northwest region of the country was submitted in February last year in the office of the Ministry of Finance by the senior divisional officer. Meanwhile, residents in Bamenda testify that the civil administrator had himself fled his office in Ndop, taking permanent residence in Bamenda. In a release dated January 26, 2022, the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova Liyonga, said the suspension is being done in accordance with prefectural orders and single-handedly signed by the senior divisional officer, Fon Quinter. Worthy of note is that civil servants in general and government teachers in particular have been a principal target of violence since the Anglophone crisis went bloody. In September 2021, at least 15 government teachers in the Gokutunja Divisional Headquarters in Ndop were kidnapped and held in captivity for weeks by the separatists, a situation which was given a blind eye by the said senior divisional officer. Similar cases of violence on civil servants have been witnessed in other divisions still in the northwest, including the Menchum and Bui divisions. Sometime in 2020, the governor of the northwest region, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, ordered all civil servants in the region to return to their duty post or face sanctions, which included salary suspension. The sole decision of the Ngokutunja senior divisional officer to suspend the salaries of teachers fleeing the conflict-hit locality comes barely weeks after 4 civil servants in GHS Way in the Menchum division were kidnapped by the separatists. In 2021, a teacher in the Ndian division of the southwest region was equally shot dead on duty by armed men. Since 2017, separatists have continuously imposed school boycotts, carrying out acts of violence on defaulters, both the administration and the students.
The president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, has visited management and staff of Orange Cameroon. The visit at the auditorium of Orange Makepe branch is in a bid to tighten bilateral relations between the two bodies while lobbying their support for the indomitable Lions during the ongoing African competition. Dolin Gandhi was at the event. She now reports.
It's been over 20 years of partnership between Orange Cameroon and the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT. Meeting during this working visit, paid by FECAFOOT's new boss, Samuel Eto'o, discussions between the two parties have centered around the appreciation of their achievements in partnership, the need to continuously support the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, especially during the AFCON 2021 context and beyond, plus room given for the realization of more projects before the end of 2022. During the event, the Director General of Orange Cameroon, Patrick Benon, also took time off to officially congratulate the new boss of FECAFOOT, Samuel Eto'o, while stating that besides being the #1 supporter of the Lions, Orange Cameroon is also in support of all the other contesting teams for these reasons. We must understand that Orange is not only present in Cameroon. Orange is present in Ivory Coast as well as in Egypt. So we do our best to support all the teams whenever they are playing, because we believe that football promotes the value of peace, love and others. That's why our slogan says Ndamba na joy. In the same light, Samuel Eto'o, president of FECAFOOT, has also called on Cameroonians to be free in their choice as to which team to support during the ongoing AFCON 2021 football tournament. And as a youth leader that he is, Samuel Eto'o now reveals future plans for young talented Cameroonians during his regime as president of FECAFOOT. It's been 8 weeks after my swearing in as president of FECAFOOT. I just wish to plead with the youths to accord me a few months. But I will guarantee you all something. This federation will play the role it ought to have played the past years. And if you can already see what is happening in Cameroon, we have organized this tournament, permitting other talents to be projected and seen throughout Africa. By the end of the working visit, a minute of silence was observed for the victims who died during the human stampede at the Yaoundé Olympic Stadium.
To the sad one person has died and others injured following an accident which occurred in Bayagam in the west region of Cameroon. The accident involved the vehicle of an administrative official, as Nora Kakebi tells us.
A woman has reportedly died in Bayangam subdivision in the west region of Cameroon yesterday, January 27, in an accident involving some administrative authorities. The car belonging to the DO of Bayangam was transporting the DO himself, accompanied by his first deputy, his driver, whose name was given simply as Olivier, and another occupant of the car who is yet to be identified. They all sustained injuries and are under medical care. The divisional officer's vehicle with plate number LT 784OU is said to have suffered a brake failure and hit on the wall of a health center, claiming the life of a woman who was in the health center trying to secure some medications. According to some eyewitness accounts, the woman, whose name was given as Josephine, died from broken legs and excessive bleeding. She was immediately rushed to the Bafoussam Regional Hospital for urgent medical attention, but unfortunately she gave up the ghost and her remains have been deposited at the mortuary pending burial. Investigations have been opened to establish the exact cause of the accident, though many have attributed it to overspeeding and careless driving. Recently, a series of accidents have characterized the roads and towns, claiming several lives. Concerned Cameroonians implore road users to apply caution as they ply the roads in order to avoid untimely deaths.
Now, several houses have been reduced to ashes at the Obili neighborhood in Yaoundé, the nation's political capital. According to sources, the fire is said to have been caused by a transformer explosion around midnight, spreading to other wooden houses in the vicinity. Though no lives were lost, victims incurred huge material damage. The incident last night adds to many that have been recorded in the city of Yaoundé in recent times. The 2-0 group of the city of Yaoundé has launched a campaign to keep the city clean. It was equally an opportunity for the group to sensitize the population on the need to keep the city of Yaoundé clean, as Catherine Ekongwe tells us.
In an attempt to keep the city of Yaoundé clean, the divisional officer on Vina has decided to launch a cleanup campaign every Thursday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. According to the divisional officer, the population of the city must endeavor to clean up their environment. As such, stores and petty businesses should be closed down during this clean-up campaign. Some group of young people have taken this initiative at heart. For some weeks now, they have been committed to the sensitization campaign about the essence of cleaning up their streets. This campaign has over 15 volunteers who were out on the street this Thursday, January 27, 2022, led by their president. We have so many projects at hand, amongst which includes the cleanup campaign, which has already been launched and take place every Thursday. We also give the general community sports walk every Saturday. Behind all these projects are people we want to appreciate who are giving us a push. Mr. Usman, our quarterhead and the president of the youth of our community. We are calling on the entire population to join us in this campaign. We equally face some challenges like the lack of working tools. Working tools such as cutlasses, wheelbarrows and rakers were made available to be used to clean up garbage from both sides of the streets, and also ensuring that gutters are void of plastic deposits. Some parents equally took part in this clean-up campaign. When you are as an elderly person amongst youths, you give them counsel and equally propose some ideas. When I'm free, I join them in the work, and when they see me in their midst, they are motivated. At the end of the clean-up, the volunteers all gathered their dirt before dropping them into the Izakam trash bin.
Members of the Cameroon Community Media Network CCM and Lithora chapter today held their first network meeting for the year 2022 at the Regional Delegation of Communication in Bonanjo, which doubled as a training workshop focused on countering fake news and gaining skills on fact-checking. The regional coordinator of CCM and Lithora, Regina Liengu Itaka Esong, in her opening address spelled out the need for all peace journalists to be extra driven by the need to fact-check information online from individual sources before publishing in order to promote peace and de-escalate violence. Let's now listen to an excerpt of the CCMN coordinator for Douala, Regina Liengu Esong.
Today, we are focusing on hate speech. We've discovered that with AFCON at the moment, that is the African Nations Cup that is being played in Cameroon, there is a lot of hate speech, both online, on the field, and everywhere. So today we are trying to give our members the basic skills on how to fight against hate speech, on how to counteract this hate speech, because we realize that most people that carry some of these things on the social media, they don't even know the dangers of hate speech. They don't